hiring is about 1-2%. So
Yeah.
to have one contract, you have to send about 100 or 200 proposals.
That's the thing. A lot of people they bid like 10, 20 times and they don't get any work and they think like there's something wrong with the platform. Like, no, you have to bid 50, 70, 80, 100 times.
You should know who is your client and target to them, not try to target everywhere and for everything. And also to get long relationships, I also try to understand clients, understand their goals, and try to provide a solution, complex solution for them.
Hello, everybody. I'm with Mariana and Anna from PND Agency on Upwork. Guys, could you please briefly introduce yourselves, talk about your agency, your success on Upwork, and anything else you believe is relevant?
Okay. Thanks for this chance to introduce our company. My name is Anna. I am founder of PND Agency, and there is Mariana. He is the head of lead generation in our company, and we serve. We provide service with graphic design for different marketing materials to press, for Amazon banners, different kinds of presentations, and different kinds of marketing material.
Fantastic. And how long have you been on Upwork, approximately?
Uh, over 2 years.
And in which period have you seen kind of the biggest growth? Has it been recently over the past few months, or has it been kind of steady growth over the last 2 years?
I guess steady growth during 2 years because I started as a freelancer, solo freelancer, and
Mhm.
then organically became to um, agency, and now we have over five, about six designers in our team.
Nice. That's great to hear. Okay, so I want to ask you guys a couple questions about your experience with Upwork in general, and then I'm going to ask you questions more about how GigRadar has enhanced or optimized your Upwork experience. So my first question in regards to Upwork is, uh, how exactly did you get started on Upwork? Like, what were your very first steps, and why did you decide to use Upwork specifically?
I heard about Upwork suddenly before 2022. I guess it was in September or October of 2021. And it was like a target ads on Instagram. I have never heard about that before. I bought a mentorship for growing on Upwork, and it helps me to package my profile step by step with correct things and understanding of the rules of Upwork. And it's really good thing when you have collected all the information how to um, organize the Upwork account, because a lot of beginners can break rules because they don't have them. And I packaged my profile about 2 or 3 months because the most difficult thing was portfolio packaging. For me
Mhm.
as a designer, it took a lot of time. And after that, I tried to be to send applications in Upwork, I guess for months or so, and I've sent about 200 applications, and I had nothing. Only when February of 2024 happened, and somebody was blocked, some countries was blocked in Upwork, and the world got know about Ukrainians and started to support us. I started to get new jobs, new contracts,
Interesting.
and from there, I started to develop and boost my profile organically.
Wow.
It was 3 projects, and I just try to be on my own. I don't have anybody in my team. I try to just find the work because I love my work in Ukrainian team that I have worked in before. And after that, I got about 5 or 6 first projects
Hmm.
in graphic design field. And then I got a rising talent page. And I guess in a month or two, I got top rated page because
Nice.
I had a lot of projects. Not had a lot, but it was like temporary work
Hmm.
with no gaps between. And I got the reviews that helped me to boost my profile and up it in range on Upwork. And after that, I got top rated and started earning money. And in some time, I just increased my rate, got more money. And then when I got a lot of work, I started to delegate. But first of all, I hired lead generators before that to help me just find information
Hmm.
and correct instructions that I've prepared for them help me to organize this process to explain what I'm seeking for, which client is the best for us to make sure that lead generators seeking for the same things that I'd like to do. Um, it was a lot of manual work because people has to seek for manually.
Right.
But now we use GigRadar for I guess 4 or 5 months,
Hmm.
and I like that it's more automatically because we
Yep.
don't have to explain how to um, how to skip different mistakes in this process. We just add excluded words, for example, or change um, searching words, and it works correctly.
Right. And we'll get into GigRadar as well in a little bit. But you're saying that if I understood you correctly, you were having some struggles with Upwork at first, and then once the war happened, you had received a lot of, I guess there was a lot of support for Ukraine, and then you started to receive a lot of like traction towards your profile, and this was like the catalyst that actually kind of, started like your, I guess you could say Upwork success. Did I understand you correctly? That's
Yeah, it's
that's
similar.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead. That's a cool story. I hadn't heard that before. That's quite interesting though, and that's fantastic. Okay. And you started out as a freelancer, and then as you grew and you had more projects, you understood that you needed to delegate, and then you turned your freelancer profile into an agency profile, which is now known as PND, right? Okay.
yeah, correct.
Fantastic. So, a few more questions about Upwork. What strategies have you found most effective for navigating and finding success on Upwork?
I guess structured information of these searching words or phrases,
Mm-hmm.
understanding of what are you seeking for, how to package your profile because uh, I forgot the story. Oh my god. Skills in
Mm-hmm.
your profile and in the client's job post have to be similar to show you in searching list, in bidding list to clients. You have to make analysis of your competitors, how to package the profile. You have to make analysis of job posts, what clients looking for, to understand how to package your profile the best way. And it works. It helps to rank the profile better.
So you would say that focusing on profile optimization is probably, if not the most important thing, especially within your niche, right?
It's only one of the list of important things. Yeah, because there are some different, more important things as well. For example, you should know who is your client and target to them, not try to target everywhere and for everything,
Absolutely.
because it makes your profile last in this region.
Yeah.
Because when you have similar jobs in work history, it makes your profile better in the bidding list for
Yeah.
clients.
And
They
search.
can see you as best match. Yeah, when you send applications as well.
Absolutely. The more specific of a service or a niche that you work in, the better it is that, the easier it is for you to find jobs and the more targeted your clients are. So this is what we talk about a lot is you have to have like a very specific niche and a very specific ICP or target customer. So it's great that you guys found that as well. Do you have any tips you can give for writing bids and proposals on Upwork?
Yeah, I thought about the ideal client to understand your niche. Also, you should send more often, more bids, more applications to find your project because the conversion for hiring is about 1-2%. So
Yeah.
to have one contract, you have to send about 100 or 200 proposals.
Yep.
It's depending on different niches and different specifications, but approximately in our niche is the same. So you have to bid regularly and don't waiting for invitations. They works as well, but it's not the main way for getting clients.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. You have to, that's the thing. A lot of people they bid like 10, 20 times and they don't get any work and they think like there's something wrong with the platform. Like, no, you have to bid 50, 70, 80, 100 times if you, especially if you're new, if you want to get a project. So thank you for mentioning that. It's very true. And how do you stay updated with market trends on Upwork and their changing policies?
Yeah, we should regularly do analysis of our competitors, fresh job posts to understand how many clients are looking at the job at the season, for example, and maybe how to how different skills could change up to different job posts and so on. Just analysis.
Yeah, competitor analysis. Yeah, absolutely. And what are your best practices for communication with clients on Upwork?
What do you mean?
So how do you maintain long-term relationships, right? Because for example, you can land a client and then obviously instead of having just a one-off job, you want to kind of work with them long term if it's possible. Or even when you're
Mm-hmm.
you're communicating with a lead and you're trying to close a job, just what are some tips, some advice you would give for people when it comes to communicating with clients on
Mm-hmm.
Upwork?
Good question. I guess that communication is a key for successful relationships in any field, in any niche, everywhere. During the first year, I felt only through chatting, texting, no calls.
Hmm.
Uh, but for the last year, I started to go on calls and I increase my rate and a middle price of my
Hmm.
service a few times. It helps, and also to get long relationships. I also try to understand clients, understand their goals, and try to provide a solution, complex solution for them. Not just earn money from them, but deliver a
Right.
solution and result. For example, just today, I noticed from one of my clients that um, he was blocked on Amazon and he couldn't publish our banner that we prepared. He paid for everything and we just about completing the project, but he's blocked and he can't use it. And this money doesn't make me happy anymore because we don't didn't reach the result for client.
Right.
It's okay that we are paid, but I'd like to help him the most than I can.
Right. So it's about just really focusing on solving the problem for the client. That's the main goal, the end goal. And you said that it's better to, instead of like having a lot of text, just to get on a call as fast as possible and just to kind of like show yourself. It usually
It
helps.
depends. It depends, but I guess it's better to start doing organically. For example, if you have very bad English, it's better to text firstly and boost your English in the meantime. And
Hmm.
when you're ready, or when people say that you're ready, because sometimes people really have a fear of speaking, it's just this language barrier.
Sure.
When somebody, for example, your tutor told that you are ready, that's right. Just overcome the fear and get started.
Absolutely. And one more question about Upwork. How do you differentiate your agency from other agencies in a competitive place like Upwork?
Yeah. I always try to find the solution, not just earning money, as I told before. Also, uh, when clients seeking for something else that I can't provide, I try to find my colleagues to help him or her to solve this problem. And also, I always clear with my clients and don't miss deadlines. And I guess it's the key for success. That's to
Abs-
deliver that you promise.
Absolutely. Makes perfect sense. Okay, fantastic. And now I want to move on to the questions regarding GigRadar specifically. So before using GigRadar, what challenges did your agency face in terms of lead generation on Upwork? I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but if you could just go over it again, it would be great.
Mm. Okay. Mariana, maybe you'd like to say something?
Okay.
Yeah, actually, for me, like to be honest, it was really like boring or manually work every day
Mm-hmm.
to find like the best job post for you. Of course, it must to be the fast reaction for this job post, because like if faster you are, you get like this contract. We hope so. So for me, the challenges was really to write you need to have a fast reaction and write the good custom cover letters to this
Mm-hmm.
job post, and you understand that you like you cannot be as fast at this automatically system. So it really helped us now, I guess.
Sure. And how long were you doing manual lead gen before you switched to GigRadar?
It was for 6 months, I guess. Yeah.
And
But generally
that's okay.
for PND, generally it was about a year.
A year.
Yeah.
Right. So you always
Yeah,
had, go ahead.
yeah, it's I work just for 6 months as lead generation manager.
Right. And so for a year, you guys had to do it manually. And of course, it's quite difficult because as Anna mentioned, or I'm sorry, as Mariana mentioned, it can be quite boring and quite tedious, like looking through so many different job posts, understanding, okay, is this relevant for me?
Following just all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and as we know on Upwork, it's very important to bid on jobs within the first 15 minutes of it being posted, because that's kind of like crucial. If you're waiting multiple hours or days after the post, your chances of getting a reply or even a view significantly drop. So yeah, I can imagine it must have been a lot harder before you had learned about GigRadar.
Yeah, it's true. Now we can spend more time like to communicate with the clients with
Hmm.
leads, because yeah, it save so much time for us and for
Absolutely.
company especially.
Okay, and how has GigRadar influenced your proposal quality and response rate from potential clients?
Mm-mm. That actually is a it's a good filtering option on GigRadar. So you can just put wherever you want and find like the best project for you. So the one problem that I challenged before is that you cannot put as much as you want the excluded words like into this scanner. Maybe you, I guess you know about it. So it's a limit. That was the one problem we faced before. So I guess we don't need to have a limit because we need to put more words. So
This is one thing that we don't do well enough right now. You'd like to see that feature added, correct? The option to have more. Okay. Okay, I'll definitely make a note of that. Okay, but in terms of like in terms of metrics, so we have things like, lead reply rate and view rate. When you switched to GigRadar, did you see your lead reply rate and your view rate increase from manual lead gen to GigRadar lead gen? Would you say those metrics grew?
I can say it's not the big difference, but it's like anyway we work a lot of this. We bidding a lot and we trying to write the best cover letters. So it's not a big difference, but it's like help us to save our time, as I say before.
Right, it's a huge time-saving instrument. That's
yeah.
Like to add that view rate increased, I guess, because of the speed of bidding.
right.
It makes better, and also we increase the number of applications of bids during month, so we can get more contracts because people can't physically do job, for example, at night, but GigRadar does that.
Yep. That's the key, is you can't have somebody working 24/7. Plus, people sometimes they can get sick, or they can lose motivation, or they can be not careful, or there are a lot of variables. Whereas with the machine, it's working 24/7. It's seeing jobs right away. It's bidding quickly. It makes life a lot easier for the agency. So
we have another issue that we have to answer them more time just to get them quickly.
I think that's a pretty good.
A lot of replies we get at night. So yeah.
Sure. I mean, yeah, that can be a problem, but compared to other problems, that's a pretty good problem to have, right? So, okay, now, do you have any unique success stories or notable achievements that were made possible through using GigRadar?
I guess that it's worth using GigRadar if you're ready to bid from your agency profile, because the main fear before was that conversion through the agency profile could be less than from solo freelancer. But maybe because of I am only one participant in my agency or something else, we didn't feel this difference. I'd like to say that our conversion just raised.
Fantastic.
And I like it. This let me, I forgot this word, more stability. It became more steadily.
Okay.
Consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I understood you correctly, you thought that when you would switch from a freelance profile to an agency profile, that whenever you would bid, you would receive less responses because the client would see that you're bidding as an agency, and they wouldn't like this because they preferred working with freelancers. And this was your theory, but when you actually implemented GigRadar and started using the agency profile, it wasn't true, and you actually had more or equal amount of response rate and conversion rate in terms of applications.
Yeah, correct. One more thing that We didn't change the position of the company, so we just introduced like solo freelancer with that
Mm-hmm.
agency, and I guess it works because of that.
Fantastic. Okay, and how do you see the future of freelance platforms like Upwork evolving?
Can you rephrase the question?
Sure. So now that, for example, AI is becoming very prominent, a lot of people are using tools like, ChatGPT to write their proposals, and AI is doing kind of a lot of the content work in terms of, like, for example, Upwork communication. How do you think that will impact, freelance platforms? How do you think that will impact Upwork? How do you think what changes will be made on the platform, or how will communication between agencies, freelancers, and clients change? Like, how do you see the platform evolving now that things like AI are, very prevalent?
Mm-hmm. I see. I guess you know that Upwork implemented embed some AI already.
Right.
For example, for creating job posts for clients, it works now. And I guess that in future it helps to communicate uh, easier on calls for non-native speakers with that English better. For example, to translate live,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe to make notes from Zoom, recorded Zoom. For example, we
Right.
use Fireflies, different note takers
Mm-hmm.
to make notes, but maybe Upwork could implement it
Oh,
and
yeah.
provide within Upwork. I guess it works. So yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great introduction if because there's a lot of calls happening on Upwork, and if you could have these note takers on the platform, it would make life a lot easier. Now, besides what we mentioned with excluded keywords, is there anything that you would like GigRadar to add to its services and features that you feel it's missing?
Yeah, maybe about saving. Uh, it's a little long time for waiting when the scanner is saved, when
Okay.
we add some information, and also we can switch to another scanner before this is saved. So we have to wait to switch between scanners when we edit them because of this time for waiting. And maybe we'd like to add some more characters in prompts,
Mm-hmm.
to add some links, for example, to our jobs, because we use Tether 1. Tether 2 is not the best for us uh, because we'd like to add links out of Upwork.
Yeah.
But links are really long. Um, yeah, we'd like to maybe add some more characters for links or something like that. And to analyze, if it's possible in future, to analyze job posts for name. For example, some clients could create job posts for somebody to include names of freelancers or something like that. We'd like to skip these job posts, but now it's impossible, unfortunately. We just try to add some exclusion words like I forgot what is like, but yeah, some
Uh,
exclusion words. But it doesn't work very well.
Okay. And do you ever use the Gig Radar score and use the boost proposal mechanism based on the Gig Radar score, or have you found it to be rather ineffective?
We use this feature, this intuition one. I forgot the name of that. That boost
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
proposals according to GigRadar score.
yeah.
Uh, and it works well, but we'd like to see static not only for 7 days or one day. I forgot. There is only one feature is possible, but not all of three. We'd like to see all of them to make some analysis. But as for us, the organic boosting works better for us, I guess.
Okay. Awesome. And just any final, I don't know, comments, concerns, thoughts about GigRadar that you'd like to add before we wrap things up? Maybe some tips for some people. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
We appreciate your support and would like you to grow up and help us to make our selling better and better.
Working on it.
And I guess, yeah, and I always suggest my colleagues to start using your service if they like to increase their selling and ready to start bidding through their agency profile. And I guess that a few of my colleagues bought your subscriptions already. And yeah, I like it. And I guess it brings her more features, opportunities in future. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys as well. Thank you for taking part in this interview and answering the questions, and of course for using GigRadar. I appreciate your guys' time. This was fantastic. So thank you once again.
Thank you so much and have a nice day.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.